Now let's take a look at Chapter 20, Managing Mass Communications. So for this chapter, we are going to focus on two important communication tools, advertising and PR. So let's take a look at the outline together. First of all, we will define the roles of advertising in a promotion mix. And then we are going to describe the major decisions involved in developing an advertising program. And next, we will define the role of public relations in the promotion mix. And finally, we will explain how companies actually use PR to communicate with their publics. So you probably have seen this definition in the previous chapter. Right? Advertising is defined as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or service by an identified sponsor. So this table actually shows the global advertising expenditures in 2015. The ad expenditures of North America is the highest among other regions, which accounts for nearly 37%. And next comes to Europe and Asian Pacific. So they spent most of their advertising expenditures on TV, newspapers, magazines, and internet, which accounts for over 80% of the total expenditure. And US alone spent most of its advertising expenditure on television, direct mail, newspaper, and internet. And this table shows the top 25 advertisers in the world. US-based leading advertisers actually include P&G, right, Procter & Gamble, GM, General Motors, Ford, and so on. So firms based outside the US include Unilever and L'Oreal, right, which is a French brand, Toyota, and so forth. And this figure shows the marketing management must make four very important decisions when developing an effective advertising program. So such as setting the advertising objectives, setting the advertising budget, right, which we have just discussed in the previous chapter, developing an effective advertising strategy, and finally evaluating the advertising campaigns. So an advertising objective is a specific communication task to be accomplished with a specific target audience during a specific period of time. So there are in general three types of advertising objectives, whether it is to inform, to persuade, or to remind your consumers. So informative advertising is used heavily when introducing a new product category. So in other words, right, for those products at the introduction stage of the product life cycle. So in this case, the objective of the advertising campaign is to build primary demand for your product. So for example, the early producers of DVD players such as Sony that first had to inform their consumers of the image quality and convenience benefits of the new product. Although it was launched, more than 20 years ago, but when the product was launched in the market, the major objective was to build a primary demand to inform consumers about the major product benefits. And persuasive advertising becomes more important as competition increases. So under such case, the objective is to build selective demand for your product. So for example, right, in the previous case, once the DVD players become established, Sony had to persuade their consumers that its brand offered the best quality among its competitors. And I also would like to share with you a funny, ad, and it's a, example of persuading advertisement for Audi A4. So marketers try to persuade their consumers to buy their products, right, in their advertisements. So they compare this brand with their competing brand, right, in the commercial. And by the way, this film actually won the Bronze Award of the best film according to Ads of the World in 2011. but it's again a very classic example of persuasive advertisement. I also include this video in the appendix, and you can check right after you watch this video. And persuasive advertising, right, as I mentioned earlier, right, becomes more important as competition increases. So competitive advertising is actually one form of persuasive advertising. So in this commercial, right, they were actually compared two brands. So in their Dunkin' Donuts persuasive and competitive advertisements, right, they actually compare their brand, the Chance Coffee, with Starbucks Coffee, right? Then they made a conclusion that the truth is out. Dunkin' beat Starbucks. Right, so we're trying to compare these two brands to persuade their consumers that the products actually is better, right, compared to the competitors' offerings. And reminder advertising is important for mature products, right, especially for those products at the maturity stage of the product life cycle. So it keeps consumers thinking about a product. So for example, right, expensive Coca-Cola TV commercials primarily build and maintain the Coca-Cola's brand image and their relationships, rather than just inform and persuade consumers to buy in the short run. Right, they want to keep the long-term relationships with their consumers. And the advertisers now has to turn the big idea into an actual ad execution that will capture the target audience attention and interests. So in general, any message, right, can be presented in different execution styles, right, which has been summarized in this table. So slice of life, right, this style actually shows one or more typical people using the product in a normal setting. So for example, right, probably in their cereal products commercial, right, they were just as a family, people, right, eating cereal for their breakfast, right. This shows their the size of life. And lifestyle style actually will show how a product fits in with a particular lifestyle. So for example, right, in the yogurt commercial, right, they will actually probably show you how eating yogurt every day represents a healthy lifestyle. And fantasy, actually, if you adopt such execution style in your commercial, right, you probably will show, create a fantasy, right, around the product or its users. Or you can build a mood or image around the product, right, such as beauty or love mood, right, in a chocolate brands commercial, right, such as in the Dove commercial, right, they're trying to create a love mood in their campaign. And the musical execution style may show people, cartoon characters, singing about the product. And personality symbol may create a character that represents the product, such as in Geico's commercial, right? They created a character, gecko, right, which is a spoken lizard, to represent this brand. So they include the personality symbol in their ad. And technical expertise may show the company's expertise in making the product, right? Especially those health related products, right? They will show how they are the experts in making such product. And scientific evidence, they may present surveys and scientific evidence that the brand is actually better compared to other brands. Like for example, in the Crest toothpaste brand commercial, right, they probably will show you, how those scientific reports shows that their products are more effective, right, in whitening people's or consumers' teeth compared to other competing brands. And finally, there are testimonial evidence may feature a highly believable source endorsing the product, right, such as celebrity or professional endorsement. Okay, so as marketers, please remember to be creative in designing the ad message. So here I'd like to share with you, one of the best ad of creativity that exports the Kinetic Effect Act. Okay, so according to Advertising Age, it is actually one of the best advertisements of creativity. So again, right, this video will be provided in the attachment in the appendix. So please, review the video if you have time. And public relations actually involves building good relations with the company's publics by obtaining favorable publicity, building up a positive company's image, and also handling the crisis events, right? So public relations can be really believable, as I mentioned earlier. It reach out to consumers as news rather than sales directed activities. So this table actually summarizes, the common public relations tools. So one of the major tools is news. Right? News is, about the products, about the new product development, about the company, or about the people. So PR people or PR in the department, they can suggest events or activities that will create news. And speeches can also create product or company publicity. So for example, right, you can ask the company CEO or CMO, to answer the questions from the media, right, give talks at the sales meetings or annual conferences. And another effective PR tool is special events, right, such as grand openings of your new store, a new location, a new factory, etc. Right? Or fireworks displays, right, during major holidays, or company tours, right, such as Anheuser-Busch, Coca-Cola, CNN, right, as I mentioned in the previous video, offers public tours to educate people about the products and the company history. So I actually have been to these tours in St. Louis, in Atlanta, right? I tasted different types of beers and different soda, right? Different cola drinks they provided in the history. I think it is actually a lot of fun. Or you can prepare written materials, right, such as annual reports, brochures about the products, articles, newsletter, press release. The audio or visual materials, right, such as DVDs or online videos. And corporate identity materials, right, such as logos, right, stationery, business cards, uniforms, or even company cars or trucks, right, such as Verizon, AT&T, right, when they are traveling on the road, right, they always have their own truck. The public can immediately recognize, right, their logo and remember their company image. Or it can improve the public goodwill, right, by contributing money and time to public services. Or running social campaigns, right, such as Tom Shoes, right, they have the one-on-one shoes campaign on YouTube, right, you can also check that. Or use buzz marketing, social network sites, mobile and internet marketing, right, which you guys are probably more familiar with. So this example, right, actually shows Apple CEO, Tim Cook, discusses the new iPhone X and iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, right, during the Apple event in the Steve Jobs Theater on Apple's new campus in Cupertino, right, in California. So it happened like 3 weeks ago, right? So whenever Apple launch their new product, new generation of their iPhone, watch, they will always host a conference, right, like this, the press conference like this, right, to create a lot of buzz around this brand. And so this is all free PR, free advertising for this product. And this shows Coca-Cola's company tour in Atlanta, in Georgia. right? You can spend 2 hours inside. Warner also adopts such strategy, right? Time Warner is the largest movie and TV show producer. I actually have been there 3 years ago during Christmas in a trip. So you can actually visit the studios, right? In Time Warner, where they produce the famous TV series like Friends or Big Bang Theory, right? So many companies actually offer the company tours to the publics, right, to build customer intimacy and to establish a positive brand image. And you can also use corporate identity materials, right, to attract consumers' attention, enable them to remember your brand. So this example shows a uniform, right, for employees at Texas Roadhouse, right, which is one of our stack chain restaurants. It's actually one of my favorite restaurants. So it is part of the company's, identity materials. So when the public sees this in your uniform, they will easily recognize the brand and remember, right, your brand image. An annual report is also a very important tool to communicate with various stockholders, investors. So it shows what are the company's mission, strategic brands, sales, and their annual revenues, right? So especially for public traded firms, you can use this report as powerful PR tools. And generally speaking, right, PR department actually may perform any or all of the following functions. So in the future, right, if any of you are thinking, maybe switching your career, right, to a PR department, right, here are some of the functions, you probably will perform. So such as press relations or press agency, right, they actually involve creating and pressing of newsworthy information, right, to attract attention to a person. So it can be a a person in the management team, the product or service. Product publicity, right, publicizing the specific products, right, such as Apple's new product announcement conferences. PR, public affairs, right, involve building and maintaining the national and local community relations. Right, you can perform the societal marketing, right, with those local partners. And lobbying, involve building and maintaining relations with legislators and government officers, right, to influence legislation and regulation. Investor relations actually involve maintaining relations with shareholders, right, and others in the finance community, especially for those public traded firms, right? That's the major task of PR department. And development actually involve PR with the donors or members of non-profit organizations, right, to gain their financial or volunteer support. Okay, so if you are you want to work for PR department for a company, these are your primary responsibilities. Okay, so this week we are going to continue our HBS case discussion about distribution. Okay. So hopefully after this case discussion, you will have a better idea about how to perform the data analysis to estimate the revenue and profitability under each channel option. So here is in the background of the case, right? In the Natureville Farm, right, is a manufacturer of organic yogurt. So it is actually, you probably cannot find any brand of Natureville Farm, but it is actually based on like a true brand, which is called Stonyfield. Okay, so this is actually the story about the brand Stonyfield. It's actually based in Vermont, right? It has 13 million in revenue in 1999. So due to a planned exit by its venture capital investors, the company actually faces the financial pressure to increase the total revenues by $20 million within 1 year, right, which is 2001. So there's about 7 million jump in revenue, right, with this objective. Christine Walker, right, who is the vice president of marketing, needs to decide whether the company should expand into the supermarket channel, right, to achieve such objective. So the management team actually come up with three different options, right? So for the first option, right, is about market development. They were entering the supermarket channel, right, with 6 SKUs, with aeons, right, in 2 geographic regions. Option 2 is to enter with a larger size of yogurt, right, which with national expansion. And option 3 is product development, right? You want to introduce a brand new product line to target moms in the natural food channel. So each option actually associated with different rewards and potential risks. So if you are the management team, right, how are you going to analyze different options and identify potential risks? So first question is about how has Nature View or Stony Field, right, succeeded in the natural food channel, right? You probably can collect some information in the case. And again, right, in question 2, I'm going to give you some hints for this case. So you can, use case exhibit 3 and 4 and information on percentage margins from the, case test and the formulas of calculating margins, right? I actually have posted the marketing module, right, regarding how we can calculate the margin for different retailers and wholesalers. Okay, so under different channel options, right, please calculate or estimate their profit margins. But again, I think this case is a little bit challenging. It doesn't matter, like, if you cannot figure those numbers, out. I think the whole purpose is that I want you guys to go through that, process, right, to understand a logic, how you can actually calculate, right, the profit margins for different channel members. Okay, so try your best, right, to see if you can, figure some information out. And finally, right, what action plan should the company pursue? Right, so please evaluate the 3 growth options, right, the advantages and risks associated with each option. Okay, so yeah, I understand that this case probably is one of the most difficult case so far. So I hope you can try your best, right, to analyze and discuss the case with each other on the discussion forum. So for next week, right, I would like you guys to continue to work on your marketing project, right? We have 2 weeks left, and we are going to focus on the marketing ethics, right, on week 7. We won't have any lecture during week 8. I will let you guys work on your group project, the final project of this course, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this week's videos. And again, right, if you have any questions regarding your assignments, your case analysis, please feel free to contact me, anytime. Okay, I will be very happy to assist you. And here are the appendix of the videos, right, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so if you have time, please watch these fun videos by yourself.